And, it's unfortunate that they come to us when they're in that space, because my message to them always moving forward is that actually there aren't reactive. You don't want to be reactive. You want to be ready, right? And if the first time you're having a meeting about a crisis is during that crisis, you've fallen far behind. And a lot of these companies, they're young, they're scrappy, they're resource constrained. But even if you can't build the type of robust comms function that we often think about or talk about with later stage companies, you can build a comms culture. And there's a lot that these companies are doing that actually are that would qualify as communications. They just don't recognize that they're doing that. So the first thing I say is you have to really create that capability internally. So even if you don't have a head of comms, decentralized communications does not work. There needs to be a point person that is a point person. Maybe you're lucky enough to have a few people that can be your comms team, but it needs to be centralized so that someone is owning that.
But just for the chiefs of staff listening, oftentimes they're employee number one or employee number five at this startup, and they are doing everything from head of operations and sales and marketing and product and compliance and head of janitorial services and throw on communications. What you said about building a culture of communications is
It's
really
more
good and setting that foundation. And then you had also mentioned when you can bring on a full-time resource or even like an official part-time resource.
I think people don't realize, they very often think hiring outside consultancies involves, a 5-figure, 12-month retainer. And that's not the case. The second, and I know I mentioned this earlier, is making sure you have the internal resources to manage the external resources. You handle it. But that consultant is not in your company every day. And we'll get to that when we talk about the benefits of internal hires, right? So unless you have the capability to manage them effectively, I think you're wasting a lot of time and money, because they're not going to produce the results that you need them to.